to men that are like highly intelligent. They're smart, or they're highly skilled, or they know how to make a lot of money, they know how to do something really cool, really important. I mean, I guess all girls kind of have this in us where we're attracted to a man that can do great things because, that's kind of like alpha signaling. He can protect, provide, etc. But one thing that I realized over the years is that I've come to a point where even the things in a man that make him very attractive to my female brain are actually not attractive when I think about a big picture. They're actually kind of a liability, because even if a man is really wealthy or he's really skilled, he's really smart, he's really, like, let's say he has emotional intelligence, which is like, we always talk about how that's so rare in men, but sometimes men have emotional intelligence and you're like, oh my god, that's like, this guy is a unicorn, he's perfect. But he's not, because it doesn't mean that he's going to use it to your benefit. And in fact, it's going to be yet another hurdle that as a woman you have to jump through, because, like, at the end of the day, a man's goals are going to be diabolically different from your goals as a girl, as a woman. Your goal as a woman is to live a good life, to be safe, to be stable, to be financially stable, to be happy, to be healthy, to be at peace, longevity. That's like your goal. You want to preserve yourself for as long as possible in a peaceful state. And you want that for those around you as well. You want that for your girlfriends. You want to live a good life. And if you have children, you want your children to have a good life. Men don't want that. And you might think to yourself, what? Everybody wants that. No, but men don't want that. Men, they just have a goal, and that goal is to lock you down. You are the goal.
The goal of a man is to lock down a woman. That's the only reason for our existence, is you. Y'all big heads. And don't get me wrong, I think that women are the sweetest, and they could be the greatest thing or they could be the worst thing that ever happens to you. So it depends on whether or not you're vetting effectively and the person that you decide to get with. If you're equally yoked, if you really understand who they are, if you vetted through them and observed them in a setting where you weren't interested into them romantically. But let's be very, very clear. Our goal, especially as ordained by God, if you truly are a believer, is not you. In no way, shape, or form. I even would go so far as to say guys that make women the goal is really practicing idolatry. Because the goal is your purpose. A woman is supposed to be a helpmeet. That's my perspective. That's my observation from the whole thing. But maybe it is some guys out there whose only goal is to get a good woman. I have to really disagree with that as far as that being the majority of men. I think the majority of men want peace, even when it comes from women. I think the majority of the men seek comfort. They seek to make sure that their children are taken care of. A lot of guys want to be a help to society. They want to leave this earth in a better space have they not been here. They want to be remembered for the things that they've contributed to society. So for a woman, and I looked at the hashtags on this video, and I always like to link back to the content creator regardless of whether I agree or not. For a woman that identifies herself as a femcel, I have to ask the question, who hurt you? Who broke this woman down? Or what subset of men broke this woman down so much to where the thing that she was initially attracted to and obviously was never able to tie down or get married to broke her so much to where now she has this mentality that doesn't lend itself to the most ideal situations when it comes to a relationship? I always have to ask the question because I'm trying to figure out, how did you get like this?
Is not the goal. Their mind is not the goal. Their longevity is not the goal. Their health is not the goal. If it is the goal,
What?
it's only the goal because of some girl, because they're trying to lock down a girl. But once they lock down the girl, or once they feel like they've locked down the girl, however way they would lock down a girl, maybe they had schmex with her, they spilled their seed in her, they got her pregnant, or they whatever they did, then they suddenly lose that goal. Then they move on to the next goal, which is influenced by the next girl that they're trying to lock down. That's how men.
So the only logical thought in my brain, or a man's brain, is what a woman, whoever the woman is that he's talking to, is putting into it. Then how come y'all can't do it for yourself? How come after all of these years and all of this freedom and all of the diversity, equity, and inclusion and all of the programs and all of the women who code and all of this stuff, how come y'all can't do it for yourself, but yet you can do it for a man?
Brains work, and I just feel like as a girl, I always assumed that everybody wants to have a good life. Everybody wants to feel safe, stable, at peace, whatever, like all these things. But And the thing is, like, I would go out with guys and they would like repeat to me the same exact, they would like mirror me, because I also went out with a lot of really emotionally intelligent men, where they would like mirror the things that I was saying that are really important to me. And I would make a lot of YouTube videos and I would be always giving advice, and it's kind of advice to myself, you know, like anytime we give advice or we go on social media, Wizard Liz too, you know, like anytime she goes online and she tells people stuff, it's the stuff she would tell to herself. So that's how a guy can watch that and know, he can be emotionally intelligent. He can know what is important to you, but he's not going to use it for your goals. He's going to use it to further his goals, which is to lock you down. It's not to make your life better. So I've come to this point where I've realized that it's not necessarily more attractive to be with a smarter man, a wealthier man, a more financially stable man, a more emotionally intelligent man, a man of anything, a healthy man, a nice man. Like, literally no man, as long as he's a man, is good for cohabitation, good for merging your finances, for trusting in any way, trusting with the deep parts of your soul, you know, whatever. He can go and watch, you know, I share myself online on social media. Anyone can watch that. So like guys can go watch that too. But like to let a man into your home, into your bed, into your personal physical aura, into the lives of your family members, your loved ones. If a man does not share the same goals as you, which he doesn't because he's a man in a romantic sense, his goal is to lock you down.
There's some women that just hate men. Y'all just gonna have to go ahead and just embrace it, acknowledge it. That's the way that life is. They are broken, they've been hurt, and I'm not sure who did it to them. I'm not gonna apologize for it. I don't think that any of you guys that's watching this should ever apologize for it and say, oh, you know, whatever, and start to feel sympathy or empathy or whatever. That's up to her to seek healing, comfort, look for, you know, an apology from the person or the people that hurt her or whatever, and to take accountability for the person that she got into a relationship with previously. But there are some people that are just truly broken and they are hurt. And when I say hurt, they hurt in the worst way. They, you know, don't get it, or maybe their situation or their circumstances is weird for whatever reason, they hurt. And this seems to be one of the type of people. I don't even know if I have a solution for this person outside of healing. Because you see these women all the time, they come online and they talk on these rants. They listen to other women that's ranting and going negative about men. But a lot of times those same women that they idolize and they follow when they start to take all of this advice from are some of the same women that was just talking about how they lived this luxury lifestyle and the men came and saved me and all this stuff. And then they get hurt because they get left in the dust because they picked the wrong man based off of finances instead of being equally yoked.
That's his goal. His goal is not to make your life better. Now, there are some men whose goals might be to make your life better because they're already in your life in a platonic sense, that your life being better will make their life better. So an example of that would be your neighbors, your friends that are like in your life that are not trying to sleep with you. Your male friends that are like there's no way on earth that it would even make sense for you guys to be romantic in any way, like, you know, and you have to still be careful with male friends. Brothers, male, like father, grandfather, you know, things like that. Male, platonic male members of your family and friends and community and neighbors. Those people might actually benefit in some way from your life being better. Maybe it will help them with their romantic goals, but the guy that is romantically interested in you does not share the same goals as you. And therefore, you should not be attracted to a man that feels attractive to you. You should not be attracted to a man that's smarter, that is better resourced, that is, I mean, you can't control your body, but at the end of the day, all men, as far as I'm concerned, and maybe you have to go through this experience yourself to get to this point that I'm talking about.
All men are what?
All men eventually will make you unattracted to men.
Let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. Make sure y'all tap into the